Good day, and thanks for stopping by GardenStateWeather.com, New Jersey, and the Northern Mid-Atlantic region's weather news portal. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on again another delightful Thursday, April 5th, 2012. This is the daily video forecast discussion. Another pleasant and clear morning here for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. High pressure building in across the Great Lakes and gradually moving across through the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area and the New England area over the next several days. Meanwhile, we still have this frontal system to our south now. It's slowly sinking south through the Tennessee River Valley off the North Carolina coast. Ahead of that, just to the north, are some areas of embedded radar reflectivity, some showers and moderate rain across southern Illinois into southwestern Ohio and getting into Virginia and Kentucky. But that should remain to our south today as high pressure continues to build in. And if we take a look at some of the temperatures this morning, they're in the 30s. And they're still above freezing in most locations, and we're expecting a northerly wind again today, and that will cause the air to mix up a little bit, become a little gusty during late this morning and early this afternoon. There'll be a few scattered clouds as some of this moisture here spreads some of the high cloud filter cirrus clouds across the area. Nothing to really obscure the sky. It's going to be nearly a mostly sunny day. Some areas will see a little bit more clouds than yesterday. Others will see nearly no clouds at all. And with that, a dry ground, relative humidity values less than 20 or 25% this afternoon means that brush fires are highly probable across areas all across the northern mid-Atlantic states. So you do want to be mindful of ignition of outside during this afternoon, tonight, and probably over the next couple of days too, because the relative humidity values are going to be so dry. Temperatures this afternoon, again with a downsloping flow, going to get near or over 70 degrees like they did yesterday, even around the coast. Watches, warnings, and advisories. We still have to worry about some freeze warnings across interior areas of northern New Jersey, parts of Morris County, Warren County, parts of Hunterdon County as well. And we have to deal with these for tomorrow morning until around 8 o'clock. Some temperatures overnight tonight could dip just near or below freezing in a few spots, so vegetation has to be considered in fragility during this time period. And also some freeze warnings again across the interior southeastern areas of the growing areas of Jersey, and right along the coast, just some small craft advisories until 1 o'clock this afternoon. NAMWRF composite reflectivity forecast from Penn State's EWAL site, and we'll begin the loop now. Plenty of clear skies. Again, just a few cirrus clouds might get scattered in across the area this afternoon, mainly to our south. There also could be some cumulus clouds just above here, also across southern New Jersey and central and southern New Jersey, but not to obscure the sky. And all the precipitation that's associated with this disturbance now across the frontal boundary to our south will exit and remain south of the forecast area. Just clear skies overhead over the next 24 hours, 48 hours, and even into the weekend with gradual modifying temperatures. Taking a look at last night's European model, starting out with Thursday's forecast for today, we still see the upper trough and upper low here across southeastern Canada, somewhat of a trough here across the eastern and northeastern United States, a ridge complex, and a trough complex off the northwestern coast and into Alaska, into Canada, with another ridge building, thumb ridge building in across the Aleutian Islands, and yet another upper low and trough over Alaska proper. In the continental United States, we call this configuration an omega after the Greek letter O for omega. And this basically means that we're going to find very dry air in place, gusty northwesterly winds. As we go through the period, the trough axis over the next 48 hours deepens because we have a frontal boundary, and still we have that storm system across Greenland, actually, and that's going to continue a trough configuration over the eastern United States, but a downsloping flow of northwest winds, high pressure ridge centered to our west, building gradually eastward over the next 72 to 84 hours is going to mean that the winds are going to begin to lighten up over the next couple of days. The air is going to continue to sink, and sinking air is compressing the air, and compression leads to warming. So afternoon temperatures are going to be milder than the Moscow guidance suggests. As we get into early next week, actually on Sunday, Saturday night and Sunday, we find the upper low still retrograding off of the New England coast, keeping a trough axis in place and the ridge axis still over the Great Lakes. As we move forward, though, we have another disturbance that's dumbbelling around it across the Great Lakes, and it will begin to join forces with that as it pivots around it, and that will mean that by Wednesday we find the trough configuration once again along the eastern United States according to the European model, and somewhat the Omega block is still back across the upper Midwest, and everything has retrograded west. Now, if this is correct, this means that frontal systems that approach the East Coast will probably weaken a little bit. And if we looked at the GFS model, even for Tuesday, 132 hours out, we find the trough axis still from the Great Lakes off the north or New England coast into Canada, surface positions of low and the upper low here across the maritime provinces, and precipitation is very, very light, if any. As we go through the period, the precipitation, any of the storm that is supposed to develop and join forces with this upper low and keep the trough position along the East Coast for early and middle of next week will probably yield very little in the precipitation, as will remain on the western side with a downsloping northwest flow. Forecast progs in motion. Low pressure over Tennessee will remain to the south. High pressure again building in across the Hudson's Bay area of Canada and gradually moving towards the northeastern United States, still stuck in place pretty much across the next 48 hours, and this will continue a light north to northeast flow. And if the flow becomes a little bit more northeast, some of that cooler water along the immediate coast may have temperatures drop off a little bit by Friday afternoon. But other than that, we're expecting temperatures to still rise to near 70 in many areas along the coast during this afternoon. And again, we'll just have to watch a thermal trough that gets developed in here as a result of the wind from off the ocean just along the immediate coast, and very warm temperatures over the interior, and that would be over the next 48 hours, and it would be somewhat of a disparity in temperatures right along the immediate coast. It's going to be a great holiday weekend, lots of sunshine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We don't really find any chance of precipitation until maybe late Sunday night, so Good Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday look delightful here anywhere in the eastern United States, especially the northern and central mid-Atlantic states. And as we get to the day on Saturday, high pressure again now slowly building in across the eastern United States all the way down to Florida. High pressure in control, and next weather system here moving across south of Hudson's Bay, dragging a weak cold front across the region. High pressure still in control, and by the time that front comes through early Monday morning, it's going to come through dry, and the winds are going to howl in from the northwest. And it's going to be another mixed day of clouds and sunshine and windy conditions on Monday, but really, after a delightful weekend, we can take a pretty relatively dry cold front. Now, the next system, we're probably going to come through with the next frontal system arriving during the Wednesday night and early Thursday time period. And again, the atmosphere looks quite dry. We're still expecting below normal average precipitation over temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days for the first 14 days of the month of April anywhere in the eastern United States, and slightly above normal precipitation across southern New England, but very little here in the northern mid-Atlantic, including New Jersey. And as we get to the next 8 to 14 days, taking us into the latter or third week of the month of April, below average temperatures still on average in the mean, and still below average precipitation for much of the northern mid-Atlantic. So that's going to do it for today. We'll be back with you bright and early again on Friday. For GardenStateWeather.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You have a beautiful Thursday.